that, you know.
If you're a fan of any Michigan team in general, sports, pro or college, you've had some heartbreaks.
Yes.
You've had a tough go
Yes.
that we have just not generally had. Now, we had the Red Wings for a while. They were like the Yankees of hockey, but it's been tough. So, Jordan, we have to know, like, what was it that made you, want to be a Michigan State fan?
Yeah, my dad went to Michigan State, graduated from there, and
go.
my uncle. And then my wife went to Michigan State and graduated from there. And then my mother-in-law currently works there. So
you're stuck.
Through and through.
Yeah.
I'm a Michigan State fan. And really,
and you like being the little brother.
The sports aspect of it, really, in 2010 with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that really got me into it, especially that Wisconsin game where they threw that Hail Mary at the last minute and won it. So, yeah.
Well, we won't talk about the punt missed around the world where Michigan State beat us because we didn't catch a punt.
So I got a story on that. I was at the game, of
course you were, yeah, of
but
course.
this shocks people when I tell this story. That was actually not the worst part of my night there. So, of course, I'm upset. I didn't cry. I just literally stormed out of the stadium. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gone. I walked right out.
Coming to another game.
I'm done, right? Here's the problem. I parked near the stadium, Ann Arbor Pioneer, which is right next door. And I get out there, and I want to leave. I want to go home. And I swear to you, the parking was so jam-packed, I couldn't get out of the parking lot for like 2 hours. And so, the game ended at like, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I did not get home until 11:30 that night. So
all that time to sit there and boil and watch the State fans run out screaming.
I know.
Sitting there like
we
this.
won.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like we
meme.
couldn't move. I mean, I'm stuck. That was the worst part of it. Yeah.
Well, so here's a big difference I've noticed between Michigan State fans and Michigan fans, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I have noticed, in general, Michigan fans, when Michigan is not in the running, like they're out of the tournament or they're not playing against Michigan State, Michigan fans will root for Michigan State because they're Big Ten, they're part of our state. I rooted for the Flintstones, and Tom Izzo's a phenomenal coach. It's undeniable.
Never Ohio State, though.
Never Ohio State.
That's
never.
inexcusable. Well, that's not true, though. If you remember, one year, I'm going to test your memory here. If you remember this, the year we won the Big Ten title, first one under Beeline, Zach Novak was on the team. You remember him? We needed Ohio State to beat MSU in East Lansing on the last day to share the title. So I became a Buckeye fan for one day. Because of that.
There you go.
Yes.
There's always an exception to the rule.
Yes.
Exactly. But what I have noticed is Michigan State fans will not, under any circumstance, root for Michigan, no matter how well they're
salty.
doing. Yeah.
Well,
that's a classic little brother.
It really is.
That's like, I have sons, and my son, the little brother, will never root for his big brother. It's just he just won't do it.
They've made themselves a little brother on their own.
To Michigan State, it's the same thing with the Ohio State-Michigan rival. But for Michigan State, it's Michigan.
You know what? That's exactly what I've told people, because MSU looks at us as the biggest rival, but we don't give that same respect back because Ohio State is our biggest football rival.
Right.
And I think that's where a little chip on the shoulder comes from.
But if you look at the last 10, 15 years, Michigan State has dominated us in football.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they're becoming more of a rival even than Ohio State. But for years, Michigan State was not even – they weren't a football school. And they're still really not a football school. But for years, Michigan State didn't even come close to Michigan. It was just a game that we always won. Once in a while, there'd be a loss.
I got to throw this in here, too. And to bring it full circle, I think Ohio State may look at Michigan State as their big old rival after in football. Think about it.
They've been more successful
more recently
than we have.
Sorry, had to throw that in.
That's all right.
I know that stings.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Truth hurts.
Right. How's Michigan State's basketball season going?
Ooh.
We'll just wait until March 7th to answer that.
Listen, that's true. If you can say everything about Izzo, he can always have a bad season, but he always can get those guys to turn it on in the tournament. He just does that. But again, I can acknowledge that because I'm not insecure about my team, So
not this year. We got a great team.
That's right.
All right, I'll give you that.